Once I got the cheat codes, I was like, okay, we're trying this. We got our old ass chunky TV, we got our PS2, we booted up GTA Vice City, and we put in the cheat codes, and I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. As a kid, I appreciated so much. As an adult, I appreciate shit. We as human beings, as I've said this before, we have too much now. We have so much, we're given so much, and we expect so much. And I don't like where the human race is going, because we forget to ground ourselves. We forget to show our gratitude and appreciation for the things we have. Because years ago, you didn't even have 1% of those things. So it's great to reminisce and realize where you came from. But yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's when you look back, especially when I look back at my childhood, I'm not gonna lie, we didn't have a whole lot when we were kids. You know, actually having a soft drink was a treat. And I remember we had to ask if we wanted to have a glass of like fizzy orange or Coca-Cola.
Oh man, I get to eat this. It feels tasty.
You like it?
Shall we watch some Avatar?
And you know, those were the times, like we didn't have a whole lot, and we appreciated anything that we were given. And I think we were allowed one Christmas gift every Christmas. And I think one of the things that I can really appreciate when I was really, really young was when I got my first copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the PS1. That's all I asked for Christmas. That's all I asked for, and I got it. And I remember the orange case, and I was so excited because I played the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 demo that I got free with a magazine. And I played it to death. I love this game so much. And I was like, oh my god. I think there was only like one level that you could play. And I really wanted to play the full game. And when I got the full game, I played it for a long time. And it goes to show, now we have too many games. There's too many games to play. Like, our complaint is we have too many games to play. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just crazy? Where before, my complaint was I didn't have a full game. Now, as an adult, my complaint is there's too many games to play. It's a different world. We have transitioned to a completely different world. And kids today, man, they don't know how lucky they are. They have no idea. I always try to remind myself of what life was like 20 years ago. It's crazy. When I look back, I realize that I had so little, but I appreciated so much. These days, I always do my best to remember that I am very lucky to be where I am. As a person, as a creator online, and really just take a moment to appreciate the things that I have. Because there is so much that I have, like a million times more things than I ever would dream of having when I was younger, when I was a kid. So I think it's important for us as people, especially in this day and age, to just take a moment to ground yourself and just be in it. We're moving so fast these days as a human race. The world is going so fast that it's incredibly difficult to keep up. But don't try keep up. Just be in it. Pace yourself and appreciate what is happening now. Because there may not be a tomorrow. And I think that's really important to know that. Live every day like it's your last. Appreciate everybody and everything that's in your life. And life would be full. And it'll be everything you want it to be. You don't have to have all the fancy things, all the shiny things. You don't have to be relevant. You don't have to be getting all the likes on Instagram, all the shares, all the retweets. None of that stuff matters. None of it does. What you have now, what's around you, that's what matters. So when I look back when I was a kid, and it's always video game related stuff, because those are the things that really got me through the tough times when I was younger, and the things that put a smile on my face when I was a kid. I remember that, my God, I got so excited over small things that when I'm having a bad day, or I feel like I'm having a bad day, or the world's against me or whatever, I take a minute and I'm like, whoa now, yeah, you're having a shitty day, but look at the things you have. Look at the people you have. Look what you have, and look what you didn't have. You're in a good place. No matter how shit the day is, appreciate what you have. It's so important for me to kind of highlight this, because a lot of people forget. They forget what life was like, and what life is like now is so different. The world has changed so much. I like looking back at the past. I like going back to these memories when I was a kid because they bring back feelings. That feeling of the unknown and the excitement of getting something new. And it didn't have to be 3 or 4 things at once. It didn't have to be the newest system that was out. And that was another thing about gaming back then. There were multiple different video game systems, and some of them newer than others. I remember when I got a PS1, the PlayStation 1 was out a while before I actually got one. But it didn't matter to me because it was a new system to me. There was none of this social media nonsense of people talking about a system, talking about the games, reviewing the games, all of this stuff. It wasn't that stuff wasn't in your head tarnishing the excitement of a new system. So PS1 I think was out for a few years before I actually got one. And when I got one, it felt like a brand new experience, and it was revolutionary to me as a kid, and I was so excited, so happy to try all these games out. And I didn't care if Jimmy down the road had a PS1 4 years before I did. It didn't matter. None of that matters. But nowadays, like, relevance is key. If you don't have the newest system, then you're not cool or you're not up to date. And if you're if you're playing a PS4 nowadays, then you got old hardware, bro. What you doing? PS5 is where it's at, man. Or Xbox Series X. What you doing? And then you just see social media talk about the newest system, and then everything just gets forgotten about, and thrown to the side because it's not relevant anymore. But none of that stuff mattered when we were kids. It's like my friend Matthew would have a freaking PS2. I'd still have a PS1, but we'd go to each other's houses and experience them together. It didn't matter who had the newest system. It never did. Somebody could have had a Game Boy Advance and I still had my block brick grey Game Boy. It didn't matter. You could still play the games on it. Granted, Advance had better games, but it was still a fun experience. And you shared your consoles with your friends and you got to experience it all together collectively. Nowadays, if you don't have the newest system, then you're not cool, you're not relevant, and you need to get up to date, because if you don't get up to date, you're going to fall behind. That's what I mean about the world moving too fast. Video game systems is a prime example of how that is the case. Once a new system drops, we have to drop everything that we've loved already because it's not relevant anymore. The newest system, the new hot ticket, that's where it's at. My honest opinion, I couldn't care less for a PS5. And you know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. I don't expect people to care so much about the PS5. And I think when people get real frustrated that they can't get a PS5 for their kid, and that's where I'm like, damn, like, you're really going to spend 600 plus quid on your kid because it's the most relevant hardware. PS4 is still very much a thing, and games are still coming out on it. So why are you worrying so much about having a PS5? But that's it, girl with her Roxas obsession. Your name, I love it. But that's with everything these days. Everybody is so focused on trends now. Fashion trend, game trend, beauty standards. It's unfortunate. And that it's true. It is so true. Like, whatever is trending, whatever is popular now, in the now, is all that matters. Everything that's happened before that is irrelevant. That's the world we live in. We have to get to the next popular thing, and if it's not popular anymore, we move on. We're moving so fast that we forget what we were doing on the way. That's such a shame. That's why I take a lot of pride with the streams that I do on Twitch. And I don't need to bring Twitch into this or content creating into this, but do I keep up with trends? No. Like, I will react to events that are happening because they're cool. New announcements are fun. But video games, I don't play the most relevant video game. I don't play the newest game once it drops. No, I don't do that. I play games that I never got to play before, that you guys played like a bajillion years ago, because I want to play it. I don't need to play the next big popular game that's trending on social media. I don't need that. I don't want that. I want to play what I missed out on. And that's what this whole thing is. It's a journey of me playing games that I never got to play. Games that I missed out on because life happened and I grew up. I want to go back to these games and find out for myself why you guys love them so much. Why these games are special to you. So I can, be in that. And you guys can relive that through me. You can kind of see this as a time machine. A place where you guys can go to the past, relive those memories through me and through this platform. So I don't really play games because everybody else is playing them. I think that's boring. I don't think there's any fun in that. Why would you guys want to watch somebody play a game that you can't even get yet, or that you're planning on getting for Christmas? Where's the fun in that? It's just going to ruin the game for you, you know? And I know lots of streamers do it, and I know why streamers do it, because if it's relevant, it's key. It's views, it's ad revenue, it's followings, it's money. I know why streamers do it. I know why creators do it, and it's understandable from a business standpoint. But for me, that's not what I like. I like to play what I didn't get a chance to play. And when I do, it's great. And I can be in my own time zone. I can be in my own time period. Even if it was 10 years ago, I get to experience that, because these games get forgotten about. They get forgotten about because they get lost in the past. Because there's a lot of games that didn't get the streamer treatment. There's a lot of games that came out years ago before Twitch was even a thing, and they never got the streamer treatment. They never got the exposure they deserved in the internet that we have today. So if I can use the platform to give the games that experience for people to go and actually watch it on the internet now, let's do it. That's what it's about. Torque is sharing a story with us today. Torque, I'm assuming it's okay for me to read this. My sister has a daughter. She's difficult. I love her unconditionally, but she's a little shit. Entitled, rude, obnoxious, dismissive, every possible negative thing you could associate with that. My sister is a hard ass, but she loves her kids and does her best. But this little girl demands the latest and greatest. And when she doesn't get what she wants, she threatens to call the police and report her for abuse. Oh my God. Not joking. She didn't used to be like this. Her dad did it to her. He basically said, "Come live with me and you can have anything you want." And she did. She came back with that entitled mindset. And now half of the family have disowned her, as horrible as that sounds. Kids don't need the latest shit. They don't need iPhones. They don't need iPads, PS5s, etc. They don't need it. If they get it without earning it, it can turn them into entitled brats. Annoys me to see modern parents giving their kids this crap as a babysitting method. Shit parents lead to shit kids, lead to shit adults. And you know what? I see it every single day. And the world that we live in now, it's actually become worse. This problem has become worse tenfold. Being spoiled is one thing, but when your parents literally bend over backwards to give you everything you want just so you keep quiet, is the worst possible parenting thing you can do. And I see it all the time when I'm working at GameStop. I see parents coming in, their little shits are running around the place, wrecking the shop, wanting this, wanting that. Parents are like, "Oh, is that what you want? Okay, here. Oh, you want that too? Okay, here. You know, here's money for that. Here's money for this." And not a single thank you from the kids. Nothing. No gratitude. Nothing. It's like, you are my ATM. I want this. You give money so I can have this. Happens every day. It's horrible when you see it. But I don't feel sorry for the parents. I don't. I actually feel sorry for the kids, because this is going to determine who they become when they're an adult. And they're going to be a pretty shitty adult, let me tell you. And it's the parents' fault. And you can look at it whatever way you want. You can be like, "Oh, that poor mother, her son's a little shite." Why do you think her son's a little shite? Because you made him into a little shite. Because you gave this little shite whatever shite he wanted. So he's going to shit all over you. But that's just how it works. You can't do parenting by just giving your kids what they want. And the worst thing about it is there's way too many devices and stuff. As Torque mentioned, there's iPhones, there's iPads, there's Nintendo Switches, there's PS5s. The list goes on, man. The list goes on. Do you know when I owned my first phone, my first mobile phone? I was 15. And you know what my first mobile phone was? A Nokia 3210. I could play Snake, send text messages, not really because I never had credit, and make phone calls, not really because I didn't have credit. So I just used it to play Snake. And nowadays, I see kids that can barely even speak that have mobile phones. And I'm like, why does that little shite have the latest iPhone? Why does that kid's phone worth more than my car. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's actually mad. The world we live in now. It drives me up the wall. It's like, what the hell went wrong? What happened? Why did you end up being this parent? Why did you think it was okay to spend all your money on your kid because that's what they wanted? And I see it now with a certain generation that, you know, I work with sometimes before in the past, that my girlfriend has worked with, and it's only like a 10-year gap, we'll say, right? A 10-year gap between our generation and this generation. And the difference is it's massive. It's crazy. There's so many of these younger people that complain about everything. Coming to work, first thing they say to you, oh, I'm tired. Like, why are you tired? I was up all night. Well, whose fucking fault was that? Like, don't come to me that you're tired. You're at work now. It's no time to be tired. Or it's like, oh, I don't feel like working today. Well, you're here and you're getting paid to be here. So fucking work, you know? It's like, oh, my legs are sore. Why your legs are sore? Oh, because I was standing all day at work yesterday. Yeah, that's your fucking job. Hello? It's just mad. And this generation as well are constantly taking days off. And I've said it many times. I'm a huge advocate for mental health. I've raised money for a local charity that is dedicated to helping people that are having mental health issues. But when mental health is used as an excuse to not come into work, that's where the problem is. Yes, people do have mental health problems. I've suffered with it myself, and a lot of you have as well. But when you're a 20-something-year-old and you're fine, you have the newest mobile phone, your parents drive your ass wherever you need to go, you have a bed to sleep in, you have a roof over your head, and you take the day off because you're having some mental health problems? Get the fuck out of here. There is nothing wrong with you. You are using a serious topic to take a day off work. And that's where the problem is. I hate that shit. Drives me mad. It's like, you don't know the first thing about having a mental health problem, but yet you're using it as an excuse to not come into work for about 6 hours? What's wrong with you? And it's that generation, man. Everything is wrong with them. They literally, like, Deepak mentioned this the other day, they have a label for everything. Everything. It's like, what? Like, what even is this word? Silly stuff like that. And then this ADHD. Don't get me started on this. Don't get me fucking started on this, okay? ADHD. A lot of people have it, and it's something that, you know, it is a thing that needs to be medicated and needs to be treated. But if you make mistakes at work, okay, and you don't want to own up to these mistakes, and then you say, oh, it's my ADHD. Oh, right. Where did this come from? Were you medicated? No. How do you know you have it then? Oh, I don't know, Google? Like, God. There is serious things that are just used as an excuses these days that drive me absolutely fucking mad. It drives me mad. It's like, I know people that have ADHD. Sometimes I think I have it. I've never been diagnosed, so I'll never say I have it. But I won't ever use it as an excuse to cover up a mistake I made at work, which so many young people do. And I know before you say it, DB Geek, you're not old. I know I'm not old. I'm referring to a generation that's younger than me. That's the kind of world we live in, man. It's like these kids need to be spoon-fed everything. And when they make a mistake, they have a label for that mistake, a reason why they made that mistake, that they're never going to own up to it because it's not their fault. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's just going to get progressively worse. If that's the generation now, what's the generation that's younger than that going to be like in 10 years' time? What kind of world are we going to live in 10 years from now? Anyway, it's just something that I'm clearly a little bit passionate about, that drives me a bit mad, but it's true. There's so much lack of appreciation for the world that we're in, for the things that we have, things that we're given. People just don't care anymore. And it's a problem. And it's just going to get progressively worse. As every day goes by and these things are not acknowledged or as there's nothing done about it, it's just going to get worse. Anyway, the moral of this chat is just stay grounded, appreciate what you have and who you have. Remember a time where you didn't have as much as you have now, and just be in it. Because we forget to be in it. I forget to be in it a lot. Sometimes I need to stop and just take a moment and be like, holy crap, I have all this. This is incredible. Yeah, I'm having a shit day. Not today, but when you're having a shit day, it's like, okay, just take a moment, stop, breathe, relax, take a few steps back, look around, think to yourself, what do I have now that I didn't have 10 years ago? I guarantee it'll cheer you up. Like, holy shit, man. I'm complaining today over something that happened to me at work, at home, with a family member, with a partner, and I don't realize that I'm in such a good place right now. So just do me a favor, guys. One time today, just stop what you're doing. Just take in everything that you have, the people that are around you, and say to yourself, I didn't have this 10 years ago, but I have this now. Yeah, sometimes life is tough. Actually, life is always tough, but you know, you have something good. You've come a long way. We've all come a long way as people, as human beings. And we've worked for it. So be happy and be proud of yourself. Because we take all of that for granted every single day. There's days that feel like a blur because we're moving so fast. So just take it back a few steps. Slow down. And appreciate.